What is up, my Sportalites? It is I, your king. Welcome back to more Let's Play Pokemon Black and White 2. In the last episode, we took down Team Plasma over aboard their frigate, which was docked just south of the Pokemon World Tournament, with Hugh and Charon's help, although they did escort us off the ship after we had defeated most of their grunts, and unfortunately we were not able to pursue them any further. We then concluded the episode by heading into Relic Passage, and you might be confused as to why I'm back in Driftvale, because I ended the last episode in the middle of Relic Passage. Well, that's because I needed to go back here for two reasons. One, I needed to get Ultra Balls, and that was something I had to go back to the Pokemon Center for, but I figured that since I'm here, I might as well do the other thing that I was going to do in Driftvale the next time I got back here, and that was talk to the move tutor, because I really want him to teach my Lucario Ice Punch. So we're going to say yes, get ourselves an ice move. Jack is going to be able to learn it. We have exactly the 10 red shards necessary to do this, and I am going to be getting rid of Bone Rush, because I have Bulldoze. I feel like Bone Rush is going to be kind of redundant. Like, yes, Bone Rush is capable of doing more damage than Bulldoze, but Bulldoze is just more reliable, and that lowered speed is going to be really nice pretty much all the time. So there goes the rest of our red shards, and now we are one ice move richer on our team, something we didn't have before. It's just a very, very strong move to have in general. Base power is 75, nice and accurate, and also can very rarely cause freezing, not to mention the fact that my Lucario is a very good physical attacker, and it's just going to be nice to have all around. But okay, we are back here in Relic Passage now. I'm going to pop another Super Repel. I also sorted my items between episodes, so that's why everything looks a little bit different in here. But we're going to head on through, and I'm going to be doing the same thing I was doing before, where right before a battle, I'm going to be switching off of Farina, just because Farina is the only one that can absolutely prevent anything from spawning randomly here. And I'm checking these clouds because I want shards, but if it's a wild encounter, I'm just going to have to frickin' cut it. Gosh dang it. Now, you might be asking why I went and grabbed a bunch of Ultra Balls. Well, that's because we still got Pokemon to catch. And, well, it'll make sense why in due time. But I believe in this episode, we are going to be able to see, we're going to be able to get the fruits of that decision very, very soon, actually, as we make our way through here. Now, you'll notice that there are areas that we can't quite get to unless we're able to surf. In fact, the only thing that I believe we cannot get because of surf is a big pearl, so we're just going to ignore that. Unfortunately, not gettable, but at the very least, and I forgot to switch like I said I was going to do. My goodness, what is wrong with me? Okay, I'm gonna just do it now. I don't even care. Like, we'll just split the experience, I guess. Farina can get to level 36. I mean, it's not like Farina doesn't have another level to get. It's still going to be nice, but yeah. Okay, Stealth Rock is out, but that's okay. Now we're just going to stick to Tomoe for the rest of this fight. If I can get Tomoe to level 31, then I can keep her in the front of the party, and I don't have to worry about doing this anymore. So there's that Sturdy in effect. Smackdown, that's going to be sort of strong, but not too much. We got that Eviolite on, so we should be good. I think I'm going to switch the Eviolite to Farina as soon as I evolve Tomoe, because Farina's going to be the only one left that isn't fully evolved. But next we got Timber. I don't want to switch because of the Stealth Rock, so I'll just leave everything as is. That's fine, even though this isn't the best. Can I use Revenge here? Let Timber go first. Yeah, let's see how much damage this does. I'm actually a little curious. It's probably going to hurt quite a bit. Base power of 120 going second is always nice. And wow, less than I thought. Okay, let's switch on over to a Water Pulse then. And hope we can do enough damage here to knock you out. Yeah, okay, should have been doing that from the get-go. Yeah, Revenge is mostly just going to be sort of a utility thing against normal types, and that's really it. But we have beat Hiker Tobias, not bad. Now, let's continue. We're going to head down this way. There's a bunch of hidden items in this area that we're going to want to get ourselves max repels. I believe there's a hidden shard of every color in this area as well. Yep, one right there. Like I said, we can't get to that big pearl because that's on the far side of the lake over there, so we're just going to have to ignore that for the time being. Let's continue over this way, looking for trainers. I'm going to remember to switch this time. Okay, that's a Psychic right there, so I'm actually going to let Zoroark shine in this fight, even though he is relatively strong. I feel like this is a good opportunity to actually use him because we haven't actually battled with him yet, aside from, like, I think finishing off one Pokemon after I used Volt Switch on my Jolteon, and that was it. So let's give him a chance against this Swoobat. Yeah, there we go. Probably could have used Kamina in this fight instead and gotten more value out of it, but whatever. All right, Braviary. Just kidding. It's Zoroark. We're going to be using not Foul Play in this case. I think I'll just stick with Snarl just for the higher special attack. seeing how much that does. Look at that. Really, really strong. And it's going to lower special attack. Although it's going to use Amnesia in turn, but that's not really going to do it any good anyway. So why don't we finish this thing off with a Night Slash. Now, if we ever wanted to make Snarl even stronger, we could obviously lead with a Fake Tears, but wasn't even necessary in this fight. Boosted experience. That is a lot of experience right there. Yeah, leveling Zorua is not going to be a challenge. In fact, this is why I'm not really too afraid to do what I'm planning to do in this playthrough, which will hopefully all make sense in due time. I can just keep Zoroark in the front of the party for the moment. Hopefully that'll make sense in due time. But yeah, it's going to be a little bit of an interesting, different thing from what I normally do in my playthroughs. But let's use another Repel, and then we're going to want to use Strength here so that we can proceed through this area. This area we're in right now is what is known as the middle chamber. So you have a chamber that is close to Driftvale. You've got this one, and then you've got another chamber which is close to, well, spoilers, but it'll all make sense in due time. There's a cave right there. We need to be able to get through there, but we need to strength it from the opposite side. So let's head on over here first. Nothing down that way, so it looks like you're another Psychic, so I'll just keep Zoroark out for you. I think that'll be fine. And then we can grab whatever item is next to you. And we're going to want to grab the rest of our stuff as well before we head on in through that cave. Well, I guess we can check out what's going on in there. But this gun at least has 2 Pokemon, so that's kind of interesting. I love that he always picks... I think there's usually a method behind how illusion works, but I can't remember exactly what that is. Maybe I should honestly look that up while I am doing this battle, because... the fact that he's picking Braviary every single time is kind of interesting. There's level 32. Not bad. And then a little bit more experience. And then a Yamask. Okay, I will keep you out for this one. Not going to be too much to deal with. Let's see. Let me just make 100% sure. Because, yeah, there is definitely a method behind it. You know... I honestly don't know how it selects. I think it might genuinely just be random. Oh, I see. Okay, no, that actually makes so much more sense. Sorry. No, let's take a look at this. It's always the Pokemon that is in the end of the party if that Pokemon has not fainted. Sorry. So if I switch Challenger out for Kamina, for example, now Zoroark is going to be giving off the appearance of Jolteon from here on out. So that's kind of neat. I forgot that that's exactly how it was determined, but okay. Now let's push on through here, and let's take a look inside this area really quickly. You're going to notice we are now in the Relic Castle. What the heck? What are we doing in here? Well, there is, in fact, actually a Pokemon that is now only available in this particular area, and that is, well, a couple of new Pokemon, actually. Sandslash and Krokorok, but there is a specific chamber that we're going to be heading towards that also only has Baltoy in that area. And obviously, we're going to have to discuss Baltoy, but let's grab this really quickly. Got ourselves a Sunstone. Then I'm going to head on up this way. And as we head into here, you're going to see... Baltoy is a Psychic and Ground-type Pokemon that evolves into Claydol at level 36. It has average offenses, average speed, and great defenses, and that's really all there is to this thing. A plethora of Psychic, Ground, and Rock-type moves at its disposal, a bunch of unique TMs that it can learn from Ice Beam to Shadow Ball to Charge Beam, and the ability to withstand pretty much anything thrown at it. This Pokemon is honestly just pretty damn good. Not amazing at any one thing except winning contests in Pokemon Emerald. It's simply solid and has a very unique typing, which is more than I can say for many others. This is just a nice recommend from me. Well, what are you? Now, this chamber right here is the only place where you're going to run into Baltoy. I am going to use a Super Repel here, but also I'm going to save before I do absolutely anything else because I really, really, really want to catch this thing. That's right. We're going to be getting ourselves a Volcarona, but that is not going to be so easy. So let's make sure that we do that real quick. And now, let's battle. All right, so another special Pokemon is a Volcarona, which is basically treated like a pseudo-legendary. It is a bug and fire type, and it is going to be level 35 here. Now, keeping out my Zoroark at the beginning, not maybe the greatest decision in the world, but that's okay. I'm going to use Snarl here so I can at least try to lower its special attack somewhat, just so that we can be in a little bit of a better situation. It's going to start off with a Gust, which is not too strong of a move, not terribly strong, but it is going to break Zoroark's illusion, which is fine. Use a Night Slash here. Let's see how much damage this does. Maybe it'll actually at least be a little bit decent. Oh, see, this is exactly why I saved. You son of a gun. I wasn't expecting it to do that much damage. Gosh dang it. Okay, once more with feeling. It hit me with a Leech Life that time, which is... It hurts. It's super effective, but luckily it's a physical attack, so it's not too bad. And now there's the Flame Body, which honestly I'm okay with in this circumstance. Get a Shell Bell going, and then it's going to use a String Shot, which that's okay. We're going to just keep whittling this thing down. I can't believe the critical hit actually did that much damage to it. That was just shocking. With the burn, I'm actually okay with using another Night Slash. Luckily, Volcarona isn't packing too many super powerful moves right now, so I don't have to worry too much about it knocking me out. The only other thing I want to do here, maybe before this fight is over, although I'm probably going to faint before I get the opportunity, is try one more Snarl here. See if I can, especially with that Leech Life in play. Nope, not going to be enough. I was hoping to get Volcarona into the red, but it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to get away with that. Now, I do want to switch on over to Tomoe for this, who I didn't heal like a dummy. I probably should have done that. Can I get away with a Revenge here? Let's see. Let's see if I can get away with a Revenge and see if that is enough to at least knock it into the red without outright taking it out. And also not triggering Flame Body. Okay, still not enough. Let's try one more Revenge. It's going to use String Shot, so I'm going to do less damage this time because it didn't use a damaging move on me. But it should knock it into the red at least until it uses Leech Life again. And now I'm going to start throwing Pokeballs at it. Okay, here we go. So I could also use a Net Ball, because Net Balls do have an increased catch rate on bug types. Don't know if that's going to be enough for this Volcarona, but we will certainly try. It did not even shake once, so that sucks. And now begins the very slow game of trying to actually capture this thing, which is going to take me some time. I'm also going to heal Tomoe because Tomoe is going to be crucial for this fight, and I really don't want to lose her. So I'll throw a few more Ultra Balls at this thing, and if it isn't caught in any of those, then I will cut, and then we will just go to whenever it actually decides to stay in the Pokeball. So here's another one. Come on now. Get in the ball. No shakes. Wow, still no shakes. Okay, couldn't even get one. Would very much like one here, please. Don't be Leech Lifing. It's going to be really annoying trying to keep its health down with that, but I really don't want to use any water moves in this situation because that's just a little bit too strong. Okay, here's another. Please stay in the ball. I beg you. There's a shake. Only one shake. Okay, well, it's progress, I guess. All right, one more Ultra Ball, and then if that doesn't happen, we're going to cut. Please give me, like, a few... Actually, just go in the ball. Stay in the ball this time. Please. I beg of you. Shake. There's another. That's 3. Yeah! We got it. All right. Third time's the charm. I will take it. I guess third time's the charm on the Ultra Balls. Volcarona's data was added to the Pokedex. Okay, so I want to talk about this Pokemon and my ideas for this one for a second. This Pokemon right here is known as the Sun Pokemon, which is pretty deliberate. It's not just a fire Pokemon. It's not just a moth Pokemon. It is the Sun Pokemon. So I've seen a lot of people nickname this thing something along the lines of Ra or Apollo or Helios, things related to fire and or the sun in terms of its nomenclature. However, this is an American game. This is based off of, well, it's a game set in America. Therefore, I think it only makes sense to nickname a sun Pokemon based on something that is American in culture. I actually got some... I talked to a friend of mine who is Native American, and I asked for some opinions on nicknames in that regard, and they told me that they actually have a sun god of their own, and I'm going to try a pronunciation here, but please bear with me as I'm likely going to butcher this. They tried to train me on how to pronounce it, but it is not the easiest to do. It is Johotnae, which is basically... It's basically anglicized to Johanna A, which I think is even easier to break down into just Johanna. So we're going to go with Johanna for its name. This is the sun god in Navajo mythology and is, I mean, it's not so simple as just boiling it down to that, but it's basically the closest they have to what is essentially the sun god, even though it is technically a different god that is split into two beings, and Johanna is the sun representation of that god. Didn't want to oversimplify it, of course. It's not the same thing as like a sun god in Greek or Roman mythology. I just wanted to clarify that before I went ahead with that explanation. But yeah, we're going to go with Johanna, which is inspired by the name of the sun god in Navajo mythology. So there we go. We have transferred Johanna to box 1 in the PC. All right, it's time to talk about Johanna and how this is going to work. So that is our 7th team member. And yes, Johanna is officially going to be my 7th team member. Here's how this is going to work. I am going to be rotating in and out team members all the time throughout this playthrough, and the one who is probably going to end up being relegated the most is going to be Zoroark. This is mainly because, 1, I can't nickname him, so I'm a little salty about that, but 2, because Zoroark is the easiest to train in the team by far due to its boosted experience gains. However, I don't really want to be doing any crazy swapping until I start to get into situations where my Pokemon are caught up in levels. So because Johanna is level 35, I'm not going to be rushing to go and get him out of the PC right now. I'm going to wait until the rest of my team is kind of up to snuff. Then we're going to go pull him out, and then we're going to start to do some swapping. So we're going to finally have a bug type and a fire type on this team, but there's going to be a little bit of back and forth here. This is going to be something I've never done this in a playthrough on this channel before, but we are going to have a total of 7 official team members, as opposed to having a dedicated HM user. I felt like that was a better way of going about this than what people are normally used to, and also what I am used to in these Let's Plays. So I'm happy with that. I hope you're all happy with that, and I hope that you are looking forward to seeing Johanna incorporated into the team, although it probably isn't going to be for a little bit. In fact, I would assume not until we get to the next gym. So for now, we still have a little bit of the Relic Castle to go over here. In fact, I don't know if it's in this chamber. Okay, there's definitely another chamber in here somewhere that's got some interesting stuff, but I can't remember if it's actually in this area or if it's in the next. Let's see. I'm going to keep going through here really quickly because we're going to actually backtrack. Okay, yes, it's in here. We got an item right here, an Ultra Ball. Now we are going to backtrack all the way back to the Relic Passage, and then that's, I think, where we're going to call this an episode. Just a little bit of stuff left to do in there. I'm not going to even revive my Zoroark right now. I'm just going to kind of keep everything the way it is. Although, actually, Tomoe's burned, isn't she? No, she's not. Never mind. I thought she was burned for some reason. I don't know why I thought that. Probably because burn happened to Zoroark both times. But back out we go. And we are going to be making our way back through this area. I'm going to put the dowsing machine back on. And I don't know, maybe one more encounter and we can call this a video, I think. We do have another hidden item down this way. So let's go take a look. Hold on. It's worn off. So is it here? Where the heck is this? Oh, it's got to be over in this direction somewhere. But how do I get over there exactly? That is the question. Oh, come on. Okay, sorry about that. Maybe what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to put Farina back in the front, and we'll still do some quick swapping if need be. But let's head on up this way. There's got to be a way over there, right? But what actually... there must be like another path of some description. I actually don't even know how to get over there. Because I'm going to have to figure that out later. For now, let's head on over here. And, oh, we got a dust cloud. Is there a shard, please? Thank you. Green shard. That's what I want. You also can get evolutionary stones out of those dust clouds occasionally, so that is why it is worth checking. Oh, I didn't think I was going to be in your line of sight from that far away. You've got to be kidding me. Well, I just ended up keeping Farina out in front anyway for that entire fight, and I did get him a level up, so that's pretty cool. We're going to get ourselves a yellow shard here, and then continue making my way down. I mean, oh, we got another one. Let's use another repel. Please. Thank you. Another green shard. I will take that. It's going to be useful a little bit later when we start running into other move tutors. I guess we can go through here, but this is going to take us into the next chamber over, which I guess I got to figure out how these connect, but I probably should call this an episode. Okay, hold on. We got strength here. Let's definitely use this. See if we can't go back the way we came. I don't want to be jumping down over any of these ledges just yet. So I'm going to make my way over here. Dust cloud, give me... No, not a fight. You got to be kidding me. Okay, no. Back this way. All the way over. Here we go. Is this going to connect over here? There we go. Okay, so this is what leads into that area. We got a whole bunch of items here. You're going to see we got an Ultra Ball. We got ourselves a rare candy. Definitely going to come in handy. And before I turn around, let's get ourselves a rock gem for free while we're at it. And then also a Rocky helmet, which is an extremely, extremely good hold item that I am absolutely going to be giving to one of my Pokemon, preferably the most tanky one. And honestly, that might end up being Tomoe once she actually evolves. So, all right, that pretty much covers this area. I just want to be careful about which ledge I'm jumping down here. I think I do want to go over this one here, so let's do that. We got a scientist over there. We'll talk to them in probably the next episode because I think that's going to be it for this one, guys. Thank you all so very much for watching this episode of Let's Play Pokemon Black and White 2. I hope you all enjoyed it very, very much, and I will see you all in the next one.